Morning guys, we are here in Silvaplana. We have been racing yesterday. We did 8 races with now on the foil. It was my first experience and for most of the guys as well to do a proper race on the foil. So here I have the equipment I used yesterday. I was on the 157 starboard, the foil board. It's made for foiling. You can use for slalom light wind as well, but it's made for foiling. And on the starboard foil as well. Is the foil, the race mast and the wings. So here you have all the wings. Basically you put the mast in. There is like a normal fin, and here you touch the fuselage. So here we have the small fuselage. This is the slalom fuselage. As you can see, it's short. Okay. This fuselage goes with mostly with the small wings. So we have this is the small front wing, while the small back wing is still rigged by longer fuselage. This is the big wing. I left it rigged as it's quicker if the wind comes. As you can see, it's much longer, this fuselage.
Can we see the difference?
Yeah, sure. So, this is the short one, this is the long one. Okay, as you can see, this is 75 centimeters long. This is 1 meter 15. There's quite a big difference in between of them.
So using the short one for slalom and the long one
is better for slalom. Gives you less power, more speed, and more control in higher winds and in the reaching parts of the course. While the longer fuselage gives you a lot of power to go upwind and downwind, like on a Formula course. So if you have to go slalom sailing or reaching normal sailing, you go with a short fuselage, and on it you can put the wide wing. You can see here, gives you power. You can plane in light winds and you are comfortable on that one. While if you want to go upwind and downwind, or it's really light wind, you put this one and you're gonna plane in really no wind. As you can see, the front wing is a lot different. This is the quicker one and the one made for reaching and for stronger winds. It's the one that gives you more power. It's quite a big difference. But in the back, it was gusting quite strong. I have the small wing. Gives you a lot of control. And if there is really light condition, you can put the bigger back wing. As you can see, there is again a big difference between the two wings. But that gives really plenty of power and is even too much. If it's gusting like 15 knots, you cannot go straight with this one. It's made for really light winds and like upwind, downwind. So probably you guys would like to sail this short fuselage with this back wing, the small one, and the front wing like big, and then you can get like a nice reaching performance in super light winds. These are the parts of the foil. Okay. While on the board.
So yesterday some guys were using Formula boards, some guys were using the foil board. What is the difference?
We have the Formula and the foil. So the difference is that the foil board is kind of getting narrower on the tail. It's a bit easier to go reaching, as you we do different courses. Like yesterday we did at the beginning we did 4 races where I didn't really went good. I did a lot of mistakes on those ones. Anyway, we had like a super hard upwind, like short but really upwind, and then you had to tack. And then there was kind of a slalom course, no? Downwind with 2 jibes. So on the upwind one was with the powerful fuselage and foils, but on the reaching I had too much power, was even too much. And for the reaching parts, the foil board is better as it's getting narrower, and you have more comfortable stance for reaching. So for normal guys sailing and for a mix of courses, I'm sure it's better the foil board. If you go only upwind, downwind, this is really nice, but the Formula is fine too. So, I mean, this is a foil board, so it's made for that. So for sure it's good, but I guess an old Formula or something like that is fine. You can start with buying just the foil, and using an old formula board, and you're gonna have plenty of power in the upwind, downwind, and it's gonna be even easier to start. Yeah, the board looks like exactly like the formula, just getting narrower on the tail. As you can see, okay. It's 1 meter wide, and it's getting narrower on the tail. While it really depends on which sail you're using, which brand, which kind of sail you use, how windy is it, and everything. No? So usually, the more forward you go, like the more space there is between the foot straps and the mast base, and the more control you have. As it's getting wider the distance, and gives you balance when you are flying. So if you go backward, you have less lever to control the movements, and it's harder. So if you go forward, it's kind of getting easier. I go in the middle, because also you have to take care about your sail size. If it's a really big sail and you pull it all the way forward, then you have too much pressure on the nose. And yesterday I was racing most of the times on my 9.2, and then I cannot go all the way forward as the sail is big, and it would push me too much down the nose, as already you're kind of sailing like this. And if you use a big sail like a 10.0, 9.0, then if you go all the way forward, it's gonna stay too low in the water.
So at the beginning, a lot of people were saying that you could plane with a foil with a 7 meter or even a wave sail, but now it looks like you're using big slalom sails for foiling as well. What's?
No, the point is that you can go sailing with really small sizes for fun, but if you go racing, proper racing, you need to go big. In the end, it's racing and you are competing, especially in the upwind, downwind course. You need a big sail. When we were doing this kind of slalom, the guys there was Steven and other guys on 7.8, and they were even winning races at the beginning, because in the slalom you have plenty of power above from the foil, and the sail gives you more speed, actually, the small sail. But if you have to go upwind, especially downwind, as with the formula back in the days, you need a big sail.
How big do you mean? Because in formula you're using 12.5s.
9.2 is enough. Yesterday we were overtaking the formula guys in the holes, keeping foiling and planing fully downwind, and I was on 9.2 and the guys were on 12.5. So 9.2, 9.5 is enough. Actually 8.5 is enough already. It depends how much you weigh, which kind of sail you have, and everything. No? I like 9.2 on the board, and the combination was better. It was feeling better for me than the 8.6, and I was going with 9.2. But
you think you can in the future go bigger, or is it just because now you're learning or doing the first events and then 9.2 is enough, but maybe in the future it could be better, it could be bigger?
It could be bigger, it could be 9.7. I think there's no point to go over 10 meters, because in the end you're already, with 9.2 you're already fighting with the back end, going upwind, because when the gust hits you, you're foiling and the big sail pushes the board down. So you have to push with the feet and pull with the back end a lot, and you're dying, no? But you know that when you're gonna turn the upwind mark, you need this power and downwind, no? It's kind of similar to what was happening with the formula, no?
Yeah, but now
say we're going quicker on the upwind.
Now you're using slalom sails, so
yeah.
Slalom sails normally are made to go good halfwind or downwind. Also, of course, upwind, but it's not their main characteristics. While formula sails were made to go only up and downwind.
Yeah,
so
for sure there's gonna be a development on the sail side. Maybe we're gonna need some difference on the sails. I think the slalom sail we have now is already really good, but with some adjustments and some tests we can get it even better. And I think the 9.2 is gonna be enough with those adjustments. You don't need to go bigger. Maybe now we have to go bigger because of the way we have the sails now. Because now we are mainly slalom sailing, and there are no formula sails or anyway not really powerful sails like 9 meters or whatever, because it goes slalom those sizes. But if we develop something with 9.5, I guess it's gonna be the maximum. Not gonna need anything else.
Anything different with the booms, harness lines, and position?
Using kind of the wide boom. Again, for the same reason, I was sailing a lot with a narrow boom, and it's actually more comfortable, especially on the upwind. But then again, on downwind, you need this kind of spinnaker feeling in the sail. You need to release the outle and to get this power to go down. So as you see, I'm using the wider, the bigger boom we have, and I really feel good because in the end you pull the outle full power when you go upwind, and when you go downwind you just release it. So the difference is just on the stance on with the hands, but you get rid of it. And about the harness lines, I use 22 or 24. Actually, mainly 24, because 24 then I can leave them like this. 22, I need to use 22 on the upwind and to use longer on the downwind. So even or I put two harness lines, or I have to adjust them. I don't like to adjust too many times. You know? Adjust the outle. If you also have to play with the harness lines, it takes you like ages to get the perfect rhythm.
So 24 is actually what also was being used in the past in Formula. Like most of the riders using 24 fixed, and looks like in foiling is the same is happening.
You need to be as close as possible to the sail to get the power to go up. Otherwise, you have everything in the hands and you die. You can do it, but you're gonna lean all the way like in the water, and you're gonna pull a lot with your arms. You're gonna die, no? And at the end of the course, well, like this, you're just sitting in the harness, and it's better. Feels a lot better.
So you did a Formula windsurfing championship like some years ago, and now you're doing the same course on the foil. If you have to choose between a Formula board and a foil board, foiling in the same course, what do you think is more fun, or what do you think you enjoy more?
I mean, I'm kind of quite biased. I didn't like the race I did on the Formula. I think Formula was fun in certain places when it was windy. I guess the foil is something new and it's super fun because it's something new. No? When it's gonna be kind of a normal thing to do, it's not gonna be this new thing, no? But still, the performance is so much better. And already now that it's the beginning, I think that it's kind of there's no point to go Formula because. If it's light winds, we have like the same angle, more speed, and we actually pass the holes while the Formula is stopping. And they are on 12.5 pumping, we are on 9.2. Many guys like Alex were on 8.6 and they were going the same, so it makes no sense to go on 12.5 to me. And the board is kind of smaller, it's more fun for me. You have to pump less because once you get the power and you get the foil out of the water, then it's done. So you can you foil forever, kind of.
So yesterday the foil was doing the same course as the Formula, but in a shorter time, was faster.
We were starting 4 minutes later, and we were taking most of the guys. I think only the top 3 were not getting overtaken. And when Steve joined us, in the end, like he was, and Steve is, if he's not the best, he's one of the best in the world in the Formula. He had no chance to keep up with the guys with the best gear. So, and we are not at the beginning, but I think the evolution is going to be really big. So the potential is amazing, and I guess there's no point to perform anymore.
So if you have to think now about disciplines, in light wind you could do maybe foiling upwind racing, and then as soon as it gets stronger you would do slalom, or would you continue doing slalom on the foil? What would you think would be the...
I think the format we'll have next year is gonna be alright. Like we are gonna have this when it's not suitable for slalom sailing, we go foiling, and if we go foiling, I think it's better if we go upwind downwind than if we do the slalom. As in the end, in the light winds, it's not so nice. While upwind downwind is kind of tactical and it's quite cool. You also like have to trim all the stuff differently. It's like, to me, it looks nice. It looks something like the foil is made for it. While it's not really like you can go slalom sailing on the foil, but it's not really made for it. No, it's like better to go upwind downwind. And then when it gets windy, I mean, like to me, slalom is the best. So normal slalom without any foil or anything.
So till what wind you think they should do upwind foiling and then switching to slalom in the future?
Yes, I don't know. 10 knots, 12 knots, depends. PWA knots are strange. So let's say 8 knots PWA. While in normal races like in Italy or in Europe, we can go like in until 12 knots, I guess. And then
slalom.
Then slalom is fun because you jibe planing, and even with a big board, I guess it's more fun because you fight with the guys, no? But when you're standing on the beach because it's too gusty, like here in Plana, I guess it's really nice for foiling. Every day I've been here was nice for foiling, but for slalom sailing it's not really amazing because it's gusting, going up and down, and then you have to wait, you have to waste time. You go on the foil, you do many races, no? Then when it gets steady, it gets there and it's nice for slalom, you go slalom. So there are gonna be places where it's mainly foiling and places where you just go slalom because there's no point to go foiling.
So now the PWA has decided to make the foil boards to be maximum 91 centimeter wide. And the formula boards are 1 meter and they're still working good for the foil. So do you think this choice to limit the foil boards to 91 was a good idea, or you think...
Again, I'm kind of biased because the board I'm riding is 1 meter wide. So, but from my point of view, even if I was using another like a 90 meter wide board or whatever, I would choose to go bigger because in the end, like to me, it looks like everybody would buy an 80 or 85 centimeters wide board. It's already quite big, but nobody anyway would buy for slalom series of like a normal guy would buy a 90 centimeters wide board. And then like from 91 to 1 meter is 9 centimeters. So it's already big 91. So I cannot understand why a guy should buy the 1 meter board, but he's gonna buy the 91 centimeters wide. I mean, to me that doesn't look like. For sure we're gonna evolve and we're gonna get like the same performance on 91 centimeters. But as we are looking forward to racing light winds, I mean, it was better to keep going on a 1 meter. Plus, all the guys that come from Formula and stuff, they could use the other boards even for racing. While next year they cannot because they're gonna have this limit of 91, and that's gonna be bad for the overall racing thing. No?
Slalom boards are stuck to 85 centimeters since a while. Do you think this is also kind of a small size width?
I don't know.
Or you think also slalom should go wider with the width of the board? I mean, just for racing, of course, as you say that the let's say
But
recreational windsurfer doesn't go anyway over 80 cm normally.
I don't agree with going wider than that, no, because it's already quite big at 85. And again, slalom sailing is nice when it's like 12 knots. Nobody's having fun when it's lighter. So when it's like 12 knots, when we are competing in PWA, even if it looks super light, on the reach we have so much power. I never had a race where it was under power in PWA. So maybe you go driving or 8 guys and you kind of slack sometimes, but the quality of the race is always good, and the power you have in the sail in those 10-12 knots, whatever it is enough to me, and you don't need anything bigger. There are just some places where it's so gusty, like Korea, that if it's not coming like that strong wind in the hole, there is nothing. So it doesn't matter if you could have a 110 wide board, but you wouldn't play it anywhere. No? Because anyways, the board is playing, it's not foiling. No? On the foil you pass the holes just because you're in the air. So that's the difference, I think. It wouldn't help so much. Other guys think the opposite. That's just my thought.
Thank you, Matteo.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you.